Dave and I made a pretty orderly exit from the structure, though. It was quite often there were lots of things to get caught on. That day it was actually quite open, and we sort of made our way out of it fairly quickly. I would say within 20 seconds we were outside of the structure, which is the biggest danger really, is getting caught in there if the vessel moves away. As a scuba diver, you might bolt to the surface if you've got a problem, which is never a good idea because of, for the reasons I've already described. But as a saturation diver, if you were to go straight to the surface, you would die basically instantly from explosive decompression. All those gases would just expand very rapidly and rupture your tissues and kill you straight away. So there is only one safe haven, and that safe haven is the diving bell. It's the only breathable environment down there as well. It's quite easy to find because it's at the end of your umbilical, thankfully, so you can't really get lost, although I've known plenty of divers who've got close to it. So in any situation like that, we just follow our umbilicals, and our umbilicals, instead of running out in front of us where we'd left them, were actually wrapped over the back of our heads and back over the top of the structure we'd been working inside. So we turned to start climbing those umbilicals. That sort of takes two hands. You're climbing hand over hand. When I get to the top, as I said, we're always conscious of that umbilical. I turn to make sure it doesn't catch on anything, basically. And that's when I realised very, very quickly that I was in serious trouble, because it had looped around, it was just a transponder bucket, but basically a metal outcrop on the side of this structure. And I turned to free it or make sure it didn't catch, but it was so incredibly quick that, I realised I had no chance. It tightened, a little loop of it tightened around about a 1-inch gap. And what had happened in this situation basically is I'd become an anchor to a 10,000-ton vessel, and there's obviously only ever going to be one winner in that situation. My initial concern, though, wasn't really that. It was the fact that umbilical, it was going through this little 1-inch gap, but it was slipping. So it was pulling me down actually into the structure, and my legs were splaying quite violently. And I remember thinking, my legs are going to break here. That's going to be painful. And secondly, if it continues to slip, I'm going to be pulled through that 1-inch gap, and there'll be no stopping that. Like being pulled through a cheese grater, that wasn't going to be a very pleasant way to go either. Thankfully, I guess, and ironically, really, the umbilical stopped slipping and sort of held tight. So I wasn't pulled through the gap, thankfully, but that did mean that massive tension started to come on to my umbilical. I should say it's only 50 meters long, so there's only so much slack they can give me, and it had tightened to the point where they couldn't give me slack anyway. But yeah, as the vessel was continuing to move away in this uncontrolled fashion, and massive tension starts to come onto that,